So I do want to thank you for taking the time out of your day, your life, to come and share with us this morning while we celebrate and acknowledge the accomplishments of our friends and colleagues around the industry. Before we get started, we are going to pause and celebrate the life of one of Atlanta's commercial real estate icons. And so I'd like to ask Andrew Taylor to the stage to share a few words about Jimmy Fluker.
Thank you, Suzanne. I was talking to a buddy outside, and he suggested that I raised the median age here about 25 years when I walked in, but I'm happy to be here. 20 years ago, if you'd have been in this room, everybody in this room would have known Jimmy Fluker. And if you were an office broker back then, you would surely have done a deal or two with him. And you would have considered him a friend because everybody that met Jimmy became his friend. But Jimmy retired in 2008, so many of you never had the privilege to know my good friend and longtime partner. Jimmy was a native Atlantan, born here in 1941. He was a great athlete. In high school at Westminster, he played football, basketball, and baseball. He was captain of the varsity basketball and baseball teams, and later inducted into the Westminster Athletic Hall of Fame. And he earned a baseball scholarship to University of Georgia, where he was a two-time All-SEC catcher. Jimmy loved his dogs and his beloved SAE fraternity, where he served as president his senior year. And it was at UGA where he met Dottie, and he and Hot Dot, as we called her, got married in 1968 and were blessed to raise two children, Slate and Lane. Some of y'all may know them. My father and Harvey Mathis hired Jimmy in 1970 when Taylor Mathis was just starting out. They called him Red Man because of his wavy red hair. The company was developing one of its first projects called Executive Park over at I-85 and North Druid Hills Road. And it was sort of a pioneering project in that it was the first master plan suburban office park in Atlanta, and considered by many to be one of the first such projects in the United States. So Jimmy's job was to find tenants and get those buildings leased. And I say find tenants because back in the early 70s, there were very few tenant rep brokers, and most of the deals were done direct with the tenant. So Jimmy went out and cold called on companies that were in downtown and what we now call midtown, and tried to sell them on the concept of moving into low-rise and mid-rise office buildings set in park-like environment out in the suburbs where the decision maker and employees lived. And Executive Park ultimately grew to about 800,000 square feet, 11 buildings, I think, and Jimmy was a big reason the project was successful. And then for more than 20 years, Jimmy led our leasing team at Perimeter Center, which all of you are familiar with, involved in one of the largest suburban office parks in the country with 30 buildings and 3.5 million square feet. He also leased Buckhead Plaza and many other Atlanta projects. Suffice it to say, Jimmy leased a lot of office space over his 38 years with Taylor Mathis. There's zero empirical data to support this, but it would not be outlandish to surmise that during his career, Red Man may have done more office leases for more square footage than anybody in the country. He was also very active in NAIOP, serving on the board and in many other capacities. He watched NAIOP evolve from a fledgling organization in the early 1970s to what it is today, and he was instrumental in the growth of the Atlanta chapter during its formative years. All that being said, and notwithstanding his achievements in commercial real estate, Jimmy's most lasting legacy is how he treated people, how he loved to help people. The week after Jimmy died back in October, I got at least a dozen calls or emails from men and women in the Atlanta commercial real estate community who wanted to share their story about what Jimmy did for them, how he leveraged his influence and his real estate network to open doors for them or to get them an interview, how he would call on them year after year and invite them to lunch just to catch up, check in on their career growth, and just see how they were doing. Lamar Wakefield called and told me about how Jimmy went to bat for him when he was trying to lease 600 square feet of space to open his first office, the first Wakefield Beasley office at Perimeter Center, a startup architectural firm with no credit, no landlord references, and no clients for that matter. But Jimmy made that lease happen because he wanted to help them out. I loved hearing all those stories because they captured the essence of Red Man. They captured his greatest legacy, which is how he genuinely cared for people and how when you were with him, he made you feel like the most important person on the planet. And I'll close with this. Jimmy's memorial service was epic. It was a packed house at his beloved Peachtree Road United Methodist Church, an hour-and-a-half celebration of his life that included powerful eulogies from his family and friends. I left that service feeling honored to have had Jimmy in my life, but also feeling woefully inadequate. As I walked out of the church, I told my wife, I said, damn, I really need to up my game. I'm just an awful person compared to Jimmy. And she said, yeah, no kidding, you are. But let's be realistic. We'll never measure up to Jimmy in the goodness and kindness departments, and neither will anybody else. Jimmy, you were the best. God bless you.
Thank you, Andrew. Those were poignant words that I think really beautifully captured the essence of a life well lived. I think we all hope when our time comes, someone would say something similar about us. We have a lot of ground to cover this morning. I'm going to be standing up here for a while. We are going to start off with a number of announcements, and we're just going to dive right in and try to keep ourselves on time. In this season of gratitude, there's probably no better place to start than with thanking our premier sponsors, Randall Paulson Architects and Trammell Crow Company. For more than 30 years, Randall Paulson has successfully designed and completed projects across diverse market sectors and geographic regions. They've worked on projects near and dear to NAIOP Georgia's heart, such as the beautiful Atlanta Community Food Bank in South Atlanta, and projects near and dear to my own heart, like the Whole Foods Distribution Center. Randall Paulson has been a steadfast sponsor of NAIOP for many years, and we are so grateful for their partnership. Trammell Crow Company, founded in 1948, is a leading global commercial real estate developer and is the largest development firm in the U.S. With over 700 employees in 26 major markets across the U.S. and Europe, Trammell Crow Company serves users and investors across a wide variety of product types. Trammell Crow Company also developed the Atlanta Community Food Bank facility and projects near and dear to my husband's heart, like both the Home Depot and Ace Hardware distribution centers. We sincerely thank Trammell Crow for your sponsorship. We'd also like to thank our headline sponsor, Majestic Realty Company, our gold sponsor, Kimley Horn, silver sponsor, Dermody Properties, and our bronze sponsors, Bowler and Patillo. As you all know, we count on sponsors to guarantee the quality programming that we are so proud to bring to our members. I don't want to steal anyone's thunder yet, Bo and Ryan, but we are restructuring our sponsorships for 2024, and I think you're all really going to appreciate the new format. It makes a lot of sense, and it's going to be great. In other news, table sales will open very soon for our annual NAIOP night, which are going to be held February 22nd at the St. Regis. We will have a fantastic evening of entertainment and networking. We've got some creative ideas up our sleeves. And as you all know, this event sells out every single year. So please reach out to Teresa ASAP once table sales are live. The application process for the 2024 NAIOP Future Leaders Group is open until December 18th. This is a fantastic and fun program. If you know, you know. So if you know a young professional who is interested in applying, please encourage them to get their applications in next week. And to the rest of you, please be generous with your recommendations. This last weekend was NAIOP Georgia's philanthropic highlight of the year with the Ron Clark Academy Extreme Room Makeover. I can't begin to tell you the amount of heart and soul that this team pours into this event year after year. And I'd like to invite Mike Wells, who led the charge this year, up to the stage to tell you a little bit about it.
Thanks, Suzanne. As she said, it's probably one of the most impactful things I get to be involved with each year. And each year's different, of course, and this year was extremely challenging in a good way, in that we were blessed to have a family of six, a grandmother, grandfather, their daughter, her husband, and their two kids. And as we got into it, we realized that the grandfather, he was ex-Navy, had cancer, and his daughter and her husband moved in with the family to help take care of him. And not to get into too many details, but as a gift to them, he took out a home equity loan to expand the house, and it didn't get expanded, and they lost all of their money. With that being said, Layla, this fourth grader at RCA, just unbelievable little girl, she wanted a room made over. Well, when we went to the house, I guess Thursday week ago, there was no room, literally. So what does NAIOP do best? Well, we created a room for her and her mom and dad to give them all separate spaces. And a huge thank you to the volunteers and the sponsors. We had 50 to 60 people from our organization show up and provide love for this house. In addition to that, we've raised close to $12,000 through you guys' kind donations. And with NAIOP's contribution, we hit about $17,000, which went a long way. Bottom line is, we were able to transform a house into a home. You know, and I was going to reiterate, in 5 days, we created 2 new bedrooms, a laundry closet, constructed a new ADA ramp, provided all new appliances and furniture. I've got a couple quick shout outs, and I know I'm running out of time, so I'm getting that eye from Suzanne. But I've got to mention a couple, 3 people that, and I would say this year was unique in that we had some new team leaders that we had not had in the past. And when I tell you they stepped up, they stepped up. Tommy Ellis with Brassfield and Gorey can you stand up please for me? Through Tommy's dedication and commitment, I don't ever think I heard the word no out of him. Tommy, through Brassfield and Gorey, they constructed and put up the walls for these bedrooms and the laundry closet, and they went out of their way without us even asking to build this ADA ramp. Secondly, I'd like to mention Carson Sweet with ASD. when I tell you the hours she put into this, we went to the house on a Thursday. Sunday night or Monday morning about 3 a.m. we get this huge package, a design package, down with specs, where to find this stuff, and get this stuff, and that was Herculean. And also I'd like to thank Frances Jackson with Robinson Weeks. I mean, she really sort of took the helm of making sure all of the organizers that were involved. Finally, a couple quick ones. Travis Vickers' team. Travis helped us execute furniture for the living room, and his whole team showed up in droves. Business Environments supplied the furniture for the little girls' room, and as you can see, was pretty spectacular. And lastly, I want to thank Teresa, our new executive director, because she was there every minute of every day, and her presence was very thoughtful. As I close, I just, one of the things I just want to, what I like to say is, as we're going into this home, is how do we affect change? And why are we there if we're not going to affect change? And it was clear that we had to make separations for the family, help them get organized to truly affect change through new dishwasher, new range, and just all of these intangible things that we put together. I can promise you that we really impacted change. I've been involved in a lot of these. I guess I should retire soon? I don't know. But I would like to say that we turned a house into a home. And the last thing I'd close with, this started probably 15, 16 years ago, and I think NAIOP's been involved for that long. And it used to be just this room makeover. But when you think about it on a bigger picture, if you're really going to impact change, what is the travel path to get to that room? And you can't really just walk around stuff and renovate a room. And through the blessings of our people and our resources, we were able to hit this one out of the park. I just can't. I wish I could share all the thank yous and the emotions of the family, but it was very impactful. So I want to thank all of you who participated. All of you have donated, and it was a great week, and I'm very proud of the group. Thank you.
The one thing that Mike failed to mention is if you are so inclined, to donate, there is a QR code on the table that you can send any amount, all are welcome, to help fund. It was ultimately, I believe, about a $17,000 expense. So thank you so much to everybody. Okay, I think we're going to move on to the awards program. I want to thank Amy Curry, who unfortunately couldn't be here this morning, who is the VP of Special Events, and I would also like to thank the Awards Committee for reviewing all of our nominations and helping with today's program. Mazine Porbandarwala is going to stand in for Amy, if you will join me on the stage. You're going to have to dig under that blanket to figure out which award is which, I believe. Okay, our first award. The criteria for Associate Firm of the Year is on the screen. And there is not a big build-up for me to announce the winner, so it's just going to be right here in my little spiel. Beck has been a part of the NAIOP community for over 20 years and have been a family-owned, privately held company for the last 111 years. The Beck Group is a collaborative team of designers and builders offering planning, architecture, interior design, construction, and sustainability consulting services. Their unique approach leverages their expertise to bring your vision to reality, and they believe a better process and outcome result from working together. Some of their most recent projects in Atlanta include the renovation at Phipps Plaza, including One Phipps Tower, Lifetime Fitness, and the Nobu Hotel, the recently completed Candler Hotel conversion, Peachtree Center renovation, the Emory School of Nursing, and they're currently working on construction of a new office tower for the CDC and actively working to deliver Atlanta's first rapid housing prototype to market downtown, which will provide housing and support for 40 unhoused Atlanta residents. It is my pleasure to give the Associate of Firm of the Year award to the Beck Group. Looking for someone to come save you. You don't have to say.
Looking for our team to join us. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Picture. All right. The criteria for the Industrial Development of the Year is on the screen. This year's recipient delivered a Class A bulk distribution logistics facility for Sam's Club, totaling 1.1 million square feet, located in Lithia Springs. This project required a tight timeline to meet the tenant's required opening dates, which was skillfully navigated by the project team, who overcame significant delays in roofing materials and regional concrete supply shortages stemming from COVID. The building features modern specs with a 40-foot clear height, 180-foot deep truck courts, 300-plus trailer parking spaces, 165-plus active dock positions, and 400,000 square feet of robotics and automated material handling systems. Say that 3 times fast. Not only is the project LEED certified, but it also features EV charging in the truck yard and auto lot. It is my pleasure to give the Industrial Deal of the Year to Prologis for River West 3. All right, congrats, guys. All right, moving on to our mixed-use development of the year. This year's recipient delivered a mixed-use project in the heart of West Midtown, featuring a 15-story tower and a student housing complex. The tower consists of office, retail, a future grocery store, and structured parking. Current tenants include Salon Lofts, Good Vets, Five Guys, Starbucks, and Pinky Promise. While the student residence component, known as Theory Interlock, includes living options ranging from studios to 5-bedroom units and a world-class amenity package, including, but not limited to, a rooftop pool, a 24-hour state-of-the-art gym, and a Jumbotron viewing center, certainly nicer than my college accommodations. A multifaceted project of this level of complexity requires intense collaboration and creative problem solving while integrating function with design at every level. And it is my pleasure to give the Mixed Use Deal of the Year to Choate Construction for Interlock Phase 2. All right, congratulations, everybody. All right, Office Development of the Year. This year's recipient delivered a 125,000 square foot Class A office building in a prime Buckhead location. The project includes 10 executive suites, 11,000 square feet of restaurant space, 1,500 square feet of retail space, and a state-of-the-art fitness center with showers, locker room, and towel service. Amidst arguably one of the toughest office investment and leasing periods in history, the development team successfully delivered a truly unique asset that struck the perfect balance of suburban feel with modern specs and amenities, the live-work-play dynamic in the heart of Buckhead. There's no better barometer for the success of a project than its leasing, and this project clearly shined with the achievement of 90% pre-leasing prior to delivery. And it is our pleasure to give the Office Deal of the Year to Highwoods and Brand Real Estate for 2827 Peachtree. Congratulations. Okay, this is a fun one for me. This award goes to a developing leader who has made a meaningful and significant impact in their company, the association, and the industry. Our award winner this year was selected for the NAIOP Future Leaders Program in 2020. In 2021, 2022, joined the NFL Executive Committee. In 2023, was voted the NFL Director, and in 2024 will be our NFL Advisory Chair. This person has coordinated travel, planned countless social events, executed on educational programming for the chapter, and is overall just the loveliest, classiest, and kindest human being. I am so pleased to announce Caroline Fisher as this year's award winner. We didn't make you a video, so I'm sorry, but okay. Finally, our last award, certainly not the least, is our first ever recipient of the Debbie Koenig Volunteer of the Year Award. This award is presented for outstanding committee involvement and generation of ideas and/or involvement with our NAIOP Georgia chapter. And honestly, we have so many dedicated volunteers, but someone this year really gave everything they had. Carolyn Jensen with Vickers Design Group had an absolutely outstanding effort on our communications committee. With unwavering commitment, she spearheaded new initiatives, proactively devised creative posts, consistently delivered exceptional quality in every single thing that she did. And her tireless efforts, coupled with her delightful and collaborative nature, really elevated NAIOP's communication efforts and set a remarkable standard for this role going forward. So congratulations, Carolyn Jensen. All right, congrats, Carolyn, and all of our award winners today. We are about to move into our keynote speaker, and I would like to invite Justin Parsonette, our VP of Programs, to introduce Matt today.
Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is well. I'm Justin Parsonette with CBRE, and it's my pleasure today to introduce you to Matt Stitchcomb. If you knew Matt, you'd know that this next 60 seconds he'll be cringing because he is one of the last to enjoy accolades or acknowledgement. But at the end of the day, buddy, you've been pretty busy. Matt is a hometown boy, went to Parkview High School, competitor to my high school alma mater, and went to the University of Georgia where he majored in finance, graduated summa cum laude with a 3.96 GPA while playing football, and I'd say at a pretty high level. Two-time All-American, Burger King Scholar, Wall Street National Student Achievement Award. I mean, honestly, this list, there are so many here. And then after going to the pros and receiving a Super Bowl ring with the Raiders in Tampa Bay, he retired from football and I guess was bored, so he went to Harvard and got an MBA. He again, there's countless awards he's received for many things, not just his athletics, but also his community involvement. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame. He's in the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. Again, I said a two-time All-American and a Lombardi Award finalist, among a ton of others. He's a partner at Sterling Seacrest Pritchard Insurance, and is now, I guess in his spare time, for being a partner with a major insurance company, is a SEC Network and ESPN commentator. You've seen him on Saturdays, you've heard him on the radio, and he's one of my favorites to listen to. Matt, please come join us.
Thank you, buddy. All right, is this on? What Justin didn't include is that I'm also on our Homeowners Association board. And you got to bring in your trash cans, buddy. It's just, I appreciate the praise. I know what you're doing, buttering me up. Get them up there. I appreciate y'all having me. It's great to be in this room. I got to tell you, a lot of accomplished people, a lot of high achievers in here, and frankly, a lot of intelligent and good-looking people in this room. And then however many Tennessee grads that wandered in. I think it's important when you hear a presentation before the arrow kind of hits the intended audience. It's good for you to know the archer a little bit. And so I was told early on, you have to give people a strong frame of reference. Try to find something prominent. Now, you all could probably take a picture in front of some high rise or some luxury resort, student housing development. Do those kids go to class? Or what is the ultimate goal for them to, because I don't know that life gets better at that point. I don't know. Based on the images that I saw, I would shut it down and just be a student. But the idea is to say, all right, so who is this person? So I found a picture. I was involved in one of the more prominent events that happens in this country every year. I got to be a part of the coin flip for the national championship. It actually happened here in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in 2017. Georgia was playing a team from Tuscaloosa, I think it is. And so it's an important event, to say the least. Everybody's paying attention. And I got to be in the shot as this was happening. And you can see me right here. I'm kind of right. Those are my feet. So most of me is up here, but my feet were witnessed by millions of people. And I thought it was going to be a great event. Unfortunately, the game was officiated by the Big Ten, so it was not only slow paced, but also a little bit overrated. Any Big Ten grads in here? There might be a few more insults, so I'll give you a heads up. I grew up next to the ninth wonder of the world. I know they stop at 8, but they taught us at Smoke Rise Elementary School that this is the largest exposed piece of granite in the world. And so we think we're just outside the top 8. Most of it's quartz. That's not important. 1,700 square feet, since we're big into the numbers here, 5 miles around, lots of living space. Really one of those areas where it's the most American of mountains, because you can actually hold a bag of popcorn and eat a corn dog as you summit this mountain. So it's not even that arduous. Went to the University of Georgia after attending Parkview High School. And I hasten to add, because of the football background, I was at Parkview before they were really good. Okay, so they won 3 state championships. They were thought to be the best in the nation. They were the Parkview Panthers. They called us the Parkview Possums. Bran Morgan, he's in here. Where's Bran? He already collected his award in peace. Oh, there he is. Okay, so you know. They called us the Possums. It was not an official mascot, but I can remember moving over there from Tucker, and when we went to Parkview, we're like, we're the Panthers. Why does everybody call us the Possums? And they said, because you played dead at home and you get killed on the road. And it was like a county-wide thing. Went to the University of Georgia. Some people call it the Harvard on Oconee. I don't know. It's a great school, to say the least. Very difficult to get into, as we all would probably know. For those of us that live in the state of Georgia now, it's got increasingly difficult to get into if you can't levitate or split an atom. Graduated, and just so that it's more relatable, we all have a first boss. So when I left the University of Georgia, I entered the working world, so to speak, somewhat uniquely. Was drafted to the Oakland Raiders. I'm glad that Justin didn't share that in the introduction, because I hate being frisked right before I speak. When we were in Oakland, it was kind of a rough team. Have any of y'all seen The Longest Yard? Are you familiar with that? So it's a prison team, kind of like that. This is my first boss. Gentle man, very, very gentle man, very encouraging. This is Al Davis. Out of the box thinker, Mr. Davis was. Wasn't scared to sue his own league, and did it a couple of times. Won, incidentally. That's how he got to move whenever he wanted. My clients and coworkers were somewhat unique. This would be considered a customer, another customer, teammate. And as we know, this is kind of leaching into the next generation. We got to be careful about this, okay? The NFL, it sets the tone, and now all of a sudden we've got college kids doing this sort of stuff. Eventually, that comes to an end, and you have to enter the real world. Now, the natural progression is that when you're done playing, for me anyway, you lose 90 pounds, hopefully, and you go into business with an old teammate. This is David Green. I don't know if any of y'all know him. Winningest quarterback in SEC history, the University of Georgia. Went to South Gwinnett, so he's a little bit of a redneck, but really, really good guy. And so he and I got into the insurance business. And so right here, you can't really see our lunch boxes. They're just underneath the table, but Mom would trim the crust off the PBJs for us. And we got in with Seacrest Partners. We later merged with Sterling Risk Advisors. And then not long ago, we acquired Pritchard & Jordan here in town. Now, I know that you all, when you think of insurance, you think evocative branding. You think creativity, right? Bleeding edge marketing. And so we viewed this as an opportunity, when you're merging three brands like this, to kind of recast who you are to the marketplace. And I want you to see what we came up with. Sterling Seacrest Pritchard. Now, if you all think that this looks like a bird holding two spatulas, that's exactly what it is. For obvious reasons. On the weekends, I do this, though, just to maintain sanity. Now, the problem is that I'm usually doing it in some blowout game. It's Missouri versus somewhere state. It's 59-0. And what you see right here, this is the look of someone actively evaluating all of their life's choices. My children are growing up while I'm watching this stuff. It's amazing, and I'm missing out. But what it does afford me is this chance to be around leaders, organizational leaders, and a sports team is no different than a business enterprise. And we're learning this at the collegiate level. That's becoming more and more of a perfect analogy in ways that we probably wouldn't prefer. The game plan is a business plan. Organizations function very similarly. These kind of common denominators that are throughout all of them. And so you get to meet with people like this guy, okay? Don't let the sweater fool you. This man right here built a Death Star. It's one state over in Tuscaloosa. This is Nick Saban. Okay? People say he's redeemable in some ways. I'm not sure of it. Won a lot of games, though. Won a lot of games. National champions right here. You can barely read it. He's won 7 national championships. One of those at LSU, then 6 more at Alabama. That's as many as Bear Bryant ever has. And he adheres to this thing that he calls the process. The process. And that has leached throughout not only collegiate athletics, but it has migrated north into professional sports, and it has been replicated throughout even for-profit enterprise. a guy who adheres very strictly to how he builds his organization and how they achieve success so consistently. Very, very accomplished individual. We want him to retire immediately. Then there's this guy. This is Stephen Orr Spurrier, okay, from the University of Florida. Played at the University of Florida, won the Heisman Trophy at the University of Florida. Are there any Florida grads in here? Okay, wow, 4 of you. Okay, congrats. Hey, it'll get turned around. So, Steve Spurrier, before he got to Florida, okay, he was the head coach at Duke University. And in 1989, Duke University won an ACC championship in football. Let me say that again. Duke University won a football championship because of Steve Spurrier. Then he immediately goes to the University of Florida. Do y'all want to know how many championships had Florida won in football prior to Steve Spurrier returning to his alma mater to be the head coach? Do the Florida fans know? 0. None. It was the least accomplished program in the entire conference. Steve Spurrier comes back, they win 6. 6 conference championships, a national championship, and he coaches a Heisman winner in Danny Werfel. One of 4 coaches to ever done that. Not only won the Heisman, but coached a Heisman winner and a national championship. Then he goes to South Carolina. He has 3 straight 11-win seasons. They'd never done it before. Won the only division championship in school history. So not only does he torment Georgia fans from his Florida perspective, he hung 50 points. What did he say? Oh, wait, hung half 100 on us. He couldn't say 50. He wanted to be able to say 100. Half 100. And ruined our World Series win. I was in that game, unfortunately. We lost, I think, 56-13 maybe that day. Then we win the World Series, and I've had that stricken from the record entirely. It's like it never happened. Then he goes to South Carolina and torments us. And so he's developed this aura to where it's like he's this evil entity. But the truth is that he's just a regular guy like the rest of us. I mean, who doesn't take their shirt off at practice? I mean, in your office, you just kind of wander around, kick your shoes off, whatever. See you in the break room. He's just a regular guy. Enter our hero, Kirby Smart. Played with Kirby. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Kidding me? 2 in a row, 29 straight. And then we skipped the SEC championship this year. So, played with Kirby. But he cut his teeth, obviously, at Alabama. You see him there, see that A right there? That's not for the Braves. He was over there with Nick Saban. Finally came home, saw the light. His first year, he lost 5 games. Okay, he lost to Ole Miss, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, Florida, year 1. This is at an organization that was used to winning 10 games a year. Now all of a sudden you win 8 and you were lucky to get there because it took a bowl game to get to that 8th victory. Scary, kind of concerning. Was that the right decision? I think we could all say that it absolutely was. Wasn't an easy start. This was his first win right there as a head coach at the University of Georgia. Things deteriorated from there. He got a little bit, you could see, look at that. Look at the passion. Can't you tell that the kids would probably want to come to him and be like, Coach, I want to share my feelings with you. Exasperation. What they all understand and what they all have in common is, and this is something that we can all relate to, is the importance of how we allocate our assets. Now, we could talk from a financial perspective, but there's just too many variables. So let's just talk about something with fewer variables, something simpler like humans. So how do we allocate who we are, who we work with, who we're working with, internally and externally? So this is the 2017 Rose Bowl. Okay, do we remember this game? Anybody? All right, it takes Georgia to be in these games, by the way, for them to be fun to watch. All the rest of them are blowouts, so the playoff committee completely blew it from a viewership standpoint. Should have had Georgia in there. This is the 4th quarter. Georgia's down 7 points. They just gave up a scoop and score. We'd fumbled. They scooped it up, scored. It's 45-38. This is Nick Chubb. He is standing at where the quarterback should be. What you don't see down here is Jake Fromm. He's the quarterback. He's lined up at wide receiver. This is Lamont Galliard. He's the center. This is Andrew Thomas. He went to Pace Academy. He's the right tackle. Jeb Blazevich is right out here. He's the tight end. What I'm talking about here is the importance of where we put our people, how we place our people, the importance of placement. Lamont Galliard was a defensive lineman. He was 3 stars. He was in the wrong spot. They moved him to center. He becomes an all-conference performer. Ends up playing in the NFL for 4 years, still in the league now. The importance of retention. Nick Chubb should be in the NFL in this game. There's no reason why he should be playing in Pasadena. Right there, he should have been on an NFL team. Easily could have been. He chose to come back. He wanted to play one more year at the University of Georgia and did. He went on to be the best running back in the NFL. He tore his knee up this season. Tragically, he should be able to come back. But this guy right here, they were able to retain that talent. Recruitment, you got to bring in the talent. We got to bring in people that can help us make whatever progress we can possibly have. Andrew Thomas ended up being a first-round draft pick for the New York Giants as a Pro Bowler this year. Great, great football player. Right here, he's a true freshman starting at right tackle. You bring in talent right out of the gate. You put him in the right spot and see if you can't get something out of it. And then there's Jeb Blazevich. Jeb was a 3-star guy out of North Carolina. He's a tight end that didn't catch many passes. But over the course of 5 years at the University of Georgia, they developed him into a pretty darn good run blocker. And so on this play, which is Q motion, tight right, red truck. This is a run play over here to the right. Nick Chubb scores. They force overtime. They go on to win, and they play for that eventual national championship in 2017. It took retaining the right talent, placing the existing talent, recruiting new talent, and developing what we already have to be able to put together something that could actually accomplish championship results. Communication. So I'm in the insurance industry. We could, by the way, I could pivot to insurance analogies. Would y'all prefer that? So in y'all's industry, I mean, y'all recognize all these, right? We all know what RPOs are and LOSs? No? TFLs? All right, these are football terms. Run, pass option, line of scrimmage, tackle for loss. LOI, like a letter of intent. Does that mean the same thing to everybody in this room? IRR. I say I was a finance major, but that's just because I'm a hick. But PSA, right? Purchase sale agreement. So these are things that you all say. The point is that communication is pivotal. It's important. It's paramount. And you all are having to communicate. I saw, what was it, the team that put together one of those deals earlier. It's municipalities and the civil piece of it, and there's engineering, and I'm sure there's lenders and whoever else. All these different components. We'll have to understand what our roles are, what it is that we're supposed to do. So the importance of communication. So what this is right here, by the way, if you haven't watched a lot of pro football, this is a little gathering. They call it a huddle. College doesn't do this anymore. This guy right here is named Matt Ryan. He played 14 years here in Atlanta. Does anybody miss him? I kind of do. I'm not even an Atlanta fan, but it's fun to watch competent football. And Matt Ryan, when he was here, that guy played competent football. So this is a garden variety play call, okay? This right here is no different than like a Google stand-up meeting, right? Let's have a quick gathering. Let's get on the same page. Let's go execute. That's all a huddle is. Why motion to gun, trips right, 3 jet, scat, cowboy, halfback, wheel, alert, 3 jet, scat, all go special on 2. Pretty simple. So this tells everybody in this huddle, all these different, they're all on the same team, right? But they all have different roles. This guy right here is the quarterback. Here's the offensive front. There's a receiver. There's a couple of running backs, maybe sprinkle in a tight end. But they all have different roles, and they have to know what to do. So you have to communicate that clearly. Everybody has to understand what the job is, who's supposed to do what, and how. And that's all this is. Now, the reason they do it this way is because the team changes. And I can only imagine, it's probably not a perfect analogy, but in y'all's world, the team isn't static, right? You aren't developing and working with the same groups over and over and over again. Inevitably, there's a new variable in there. Communication is key for everybody to understand what it is that we're trying to do, how we're going to do it, and who's supposed to do what. Why motion to gun? all that is this is the trade motion prior to the ball being snapped. Two gun, Matt Ryan starts under center and he backs up to take a shotgun snap. Trips right, you're going to have 3 eligible receivers to the right side of the formation, 3 jet scat as the protection. Offensive line is going to be sliding to the right. Cowboy halfback wheel. Cowboy means the halfback checks the play side linebacker. If he's not there, he runs a wheel route. Oh, and if everything goes wrong, alert. 3 jet scat, protection stays the same, but all goes special on 2. That means everybody's out running verticals. On 2, ready break. And they're doing that inside of 40 seconds. The importance of communication is pivotal. Innovation. So how we go about communicating, how it is that we adapt. Einstein said what? A sign of intelligence is the ability to adapt. Okay, so how are we able to innovate in an ever-changing landscape? I can only imagine the economic conditions and those implications on y'all's industry. I can only imagine the lingering effects of the pandemic, as it were, and how that affects how you go about executing your projects and existing asset classes. So innovation, this is Oregon. This is the way they call in plays. They just put up a signboard. They don't even talk to these kids anymore. They put up a sign. Here's a picture of a guy in a suit. Here's a couple of meatheads beating each other up, groceries, and a shamrock. Why did they do this? Studies have shown that the human attention span has been reduced to 12 seconds. 12 seconds. A goldfish's attention span is 13 seconds. Now, some of y'all are going, how do you measure the attention span of a goldfish? It's a great question. But I also know that if I wait 4 more seconds, I won't have to explain it to you. So they put these signboards up. Why? So they can go faster. There's not enough time to do huddle calls. We want to get over the line and snap the ball. We have to innovate. We need to create an advantage over the defense. Why? These defenses have better athletes. So this is what Georgia did. This is called the Mint defense. None of y'all care about this other than Georgia created this to counteract what this created. This innovation required this innovation. Excuse me. If you're going to go faster, we have to go faster. So for us to be able to go faster, I need faster players on the field. 3 big guys. So I get 3 big guys, and I get 8 guys that can cover space and can do multiple things. The Mint defense is an innovation of this innovation. It's no different than what we see in our other areas, in y'all spaces as well. If this, then that. You change this, I have to respond how? I have to adapt in some capacity. So what will that be? And if I don't, then you're going to score 52 points on me. And this is what we see playing out in sports all the time. We see it elsewhere in other industries. The collaboration piece. So in, 2017, there was a Super Bowl played between the Patriots and the Falcons. The Falcons were in that game. Now, my question is, how many points do you need to be up on a Tom Brady-led team, not just the Patriots, but the Tom Brady-led team to feel comfortable? What would y'all say? Who said 26? Great answer. Because 25 clearly is not enough, as we know. So Falcons are up 28-3 in the third quarter. Couldn't hang on. Okay, 28-3. The very next year, the Patriots, the jerks of the NFL, they're so greedy. They're playing in the Super Bowl again, this time versus the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? The score's 15-12. It's the last possession of the first half. You're going into halftime. The most important part of any football game is the end of the second quarter and the beginning of the third quarter. Because how you end it and how you start it, that sets the tone for basically the latter half of the game. And there's an opportunity for you to be able to double up on possessions. It's 15-12, okay? It's fourth down. The Philadelphia Eagles have the ball inside the 10-yard line. They're up 3 points on a Tom Brady-led New England Patriots football team, okay? Fourth down. Doug Peterson, this guy right here, Brett Favre's backup at Green Bay. He is a second-year head coach, First time he's ever been in a Super Bowl, was kind of a journeyman quarterback. He's also the head coach and play caller of the Philadelphia Eagles. This guy right here is Nick Foles. Nick Foles is a guy that the Eagles had already dumped before, but they brought him back as kind of a backup in depth. Carson Wentz was their number 2 overall draft pick. He's injured. So the quarterback that they want on the field, he isn't available. It's the guy that we had to play, okay? So they call timeout. And you'll notice that it's just the quarterback and the head coach. You ever notice that? They never let the O-lineman come over there. They never want to know what we want to say. We've got ideas too. And they never ask. So Nick Foles comes over there and he's talking to Doug Peterson. You see this right here? This is a call sheet. I mean, it's unbelievable. And it's all situational, right? So this part of the field, this down and distance, this situation, these are the plays that I like. And Doug Peterson's looking at his call sheet, and Nick Foles, the backup, who shouldn't even be in the game, he walks over. And what's great is NFL Films has this all on audio. And he looks at him and he goes to Doug Peterson, Philly, Philly? And Peterson's looking down at his call sheet, and he looks up and he goes, yeah, let's do it. So, second-year head coach, first Super Bowl, listens to his backup quarterback to suggest kind of a ridiculous play. So here's the play. This is versus what is thought to be the most brilliant defensive mind in NFL history, Bill Belichick. Hey, let's try this. Sure. Game's hanging in the balance. So here's your QB, Nick Foles. Hey, so here's when we're going to have you motion up here, Nick, and then you're just kind of settle right here behind the tackle, okay? So you're not going to take the snap at quarterback. No. We're going to motion you and let you line up as a tight end. Good start. Okay. Then we're going to leave the tailback right here. He's going to take the snap. Oh, okay. Who's the tailback? He's an undrafted free agent from Wisconsin. A rookie, undrafted free agent from Wisconsin in a Super Bowl versus the Patriots on 4th down, trying to go ahead. You know what, Corey Clement? You're going to take the snap, okay? And then you're going to run left, and you're going to flip it to this guy. Well, who's he? He's an undrafted free agent from Florida. Florida fans, Trey Burton. Trey Burton in there. Not a quarterback, a tight end. We're going to flip it to him, and Trey, you're going to run a reverse, and then you're going to stop, and you know who you're going to throw it to for a touchdown? The quarterback, Nick Foles. Yeah, let's do it. Well, they do. They do. And they win a Super Bowl. And the whole idea there is the importance of trust internally and the ability to collaborate up and down our hierarchies and to take in input and appreciate the contributions of everybody on the team. We all have our respective competencies. And to be able to be open enough to those types of suggestions to even entertain them, perhaps. The fact that Doug Peterson would listen to this guy, hey, thanks, Nick. Yeah, Philly. I think we're going to run whatever. Maybe we kick a field goal. Maybe 3 points is enough for us. Maybe the Falcons weren't the cautionary tale. He says, no, I'm going to listen to this guy. It's an interesting idea. Runs it, wins a Super Bowl. It's important. Collaboration, communication, innovation, allocation. It's universally applicable, y'all. Now, I want to end with this. I don't have a punchline or a strong close. It's more of a plea, okay? The people in this room are incredibly important to what I'm about to ask. I grew up here in the Atlanta area, okay? And I love chili dogs, all right? And I love onion rings. I love the idea that you can walk into a place where they serve food and they start yelling at you and they demand answers. I mean, it evokes, it's almost like an adventure sport. And when I drive up and down the connector, there's a lot of things that look the same, and then there's something that doesn't look the same, and then there's a lot of more things that look the same. So it's like big building, parking lot, like whatever that structure. I've never parked at the upper structure at the Varsity. Is it even sound? Do we know? I've not done it. And then we have this historical landmark that's got to be sitting on an incredibly valuable piece of property. And so when one of y'all goes in there and builds whatever it is that you're going to build, and we know that's going to happen, will you at least reserve like a little corner where they can still make the chili dogs? It could be a luxury high-rise. Rich people want gastrointestinal issues just like the rest of us, okay? Thanks so much, y'all. I appreciate it.
Great job.
Oh, thanks.
That was amazing. So fun. One of my foundational business principles is know your audience, and nailed it. That was really great. I think everyone here enjoyed that. Okay, so finally, while my time up here is, fortunately for all of you, almost over, this is my final moment to speak from the heart about my year serving alongside NAIOP Georgia's truly remarkable board of directors. 'Tis the season for reflection, and as I think about everything that was accomplished by and for this chapter in 2023, I am filled with immense gratitude for your time and dedication. And I would like to take this very public opportunity to genuinely thank each and every one of you. Literally. Emily Cannon, thank you for keeping us so organized. Justin Parsonette, you are the best damn VP of programs we have ever had. Please don't ever leave. Amy Curry, we gave you the inaugural clay shoot and an awards ceremony back to back, and oh my, we won't do that to someone again, but you executed flawlessly. Ryan Hoyt, I don't know that anyone really wants your job. And you not only do it so well, but you always bring your signature wit, which I deeply appreciate. Annie Baxter, you make sure we're informed and up to date on every policy changes. Your contact list is infinite, and I cannot wait to see what you come up with for those new PAC dollars that we have. Greg Bowler, Ryan Woods, thank you for continuing to grow and improve our award-winning diversity internship program. I certainly know firsthand how much time and effort it requires to keep that machine moving, and you guys are just grace and class personified. John Hamilton, the NFL will simply not be the same without you. While you are now officially NAIOP unemployed, I suspect that will be very temporary, and we hope to have you back soon. Brandon Houston and Mike Wells, the Ron Clark Academy, could not be luckier to have you both in their corner, and neither could we. And finally, Jennifer Kuntz. Guys, do not be fooled by her sensible Ann Mashburn flats. This woman is a complete and total powerhouse. In this wild 12 months of change and transition, Jennifer has really served as my co-president for most of the year, and I have gotten a sneak peek of what is to come. She is about to whip this chapter into shape, and I am going to enjoy watching from the sidelines. And Teresa, we are so glad to have you. I have loved working with you, and I really appreciate the knowledge, experience, and professionalism that you have brought to this role, and thank you for taking us on. And so with that, we will now vote on next year's Board of Directors. So please direct your attention to the screen where we have listed the NAIOP Georgia proposed slate of officers for 2024. All in favor of accepting the proposed slate, please say aye. Anyone opposed? All right, well, the yeses had it anyway, Mike. The proposed slate is accepted for 2024. Congratulations. And it is my distinct pleasure to introduce your 2024 president, Jennifer Kuntz.
Thank you, Suzanne. Well, first, I actually want to celebrate Suzanne and the 2023 Board of Directors with some of the highlighting just a few of the accomplishments we did last year. First, the successful NAIOP night, where Justin Wilhelm left all 600 people in the room completely speechless. And since you know the crowd we're talking about, that was nothing short of amazing. We had the first annual clay shoot with over 100 participants, and we'll be doing that again this year. And then also we had 12 college students of color accepted internships with you, our NAIOP member firms. The program brought exposure and access to students who are intelligent and hardworking and have historically not had opportunity to have access to commercial real estate. Thank you for the firms that have participated, and it's not too late. We have been putting together the resume books, and they're going out, so if you want to participate again next year, please let Ryan Woods know. But I think the biggest challenge that Suzanne and her team faced was when Debbie announced her retirement and Heidi was leaving after 20 years. Suzanne assembled a team, led a nationwide search, and ended up hiring an amazing Teresa Tatum. We were daunted by the prospect of having to replace Debbie, but I could not tell you how thrilled we are to have Teresa. Her professionalism, her humor, and her organizational skills are amazing. So if you've not met Teresa, please reach out, get to know her. She's fantastic, and we are very lucky to have her. So, Suzanne, it is with full admiration and gratitude that I thank you for your time, your leadership, and your unwavering commitment to this chapter. So I would like for everyone to acknowledge Suzanne, Teresa, and the Board of Directors at this moment. Again. So for those of you I have not had the chance to meet, my name is Jennifer Kuntz, and I am the Managing Director of Leasing and Advisory Services for Pope & Land Real Estate. I've been a member of NAIOP and with Pope & Land for the past 20 years. I was on the inaugural NAIOP Future Leaders group, and we've aged a little bit since then. And my husband, Charles, was on the Winning School Challenge team in 2010 with Emory. And while I had absolutely nothing to do with his presentation and the challenge, I was very helpful in helping celebrate with the team afterwards, so I'm counting that as a win of Team Kuntz. And then the past few years, I've served as VP of Communications for NAIOP Board. My kids also wanted me to note that I have two amazing 12 kids, 12 and 9 years old. They wrote that, but they are not incorrect. So one of my first NAIOP meetings, I distinctly remember the speaker teasing that the theme of the year should be Stay Alive Till '05, which, not to say that we're in a cyclical business, could be reworked to say till 25, but I refuse to say that. We've been through many cycles, and I know as commercial real estate professionals, we are tenacious, creative, and a bit optimistic. So I have great faith in this industry's ability to pivot, persevere, and come out even stronger. This upcoming year will be a challenge for many of us in commercial real estate, but where there is change and disruption, there's opportunity. The board this year wants to be where you come for knowledge, networking, and insight to help grow your business and improve the community that we serve. In the coming months, we will outline some new initiatives and opportunities that we have planned, and that will allow you to get the most out of your membership and your sponsorship dollars. So perhaps the theme for this year should be, we're going to thrive through 2025. But either way, we're looking forward to tackling 2024, and I have full faith in our ability to do so. So with that, I would like to formally introduce to you the 2024 Board of Directors. You've already voted on them, so if everyone will just stand and remain standing after I call your name. Greg Bowler, KMT Development, President-elect Treasurer. Ansley Nixon, Jamestown Properties, Secretary. Devin Barnwell, Brookfield Properties, VP of Membership. Annie Baxter, CBRE, Government Affairs. Christine Curry, Seelig Enterprises, VP of Education. Brandon Houston, Trammell Crow Company, VP Philanthropy. Ryan Hoyt, JLL, Co-VP of Sponsorship. Bo Jackson, Greenstone Properties, Co-VP of Sponsorship. Justin Parsonet, CB, Programs. Mazine Porbandarwala, Patilla, Special Events. Mike Wells, Business Environments, Advisor Philanthropy. Sarah Weston, the Wilbert Group, VP of Communications. Ryan Woods, the Beck Group, VP of Diversity. Caroline Fisher, Jones Lang LaSalle, NFL and DL Advisory Chair. Molly Millard, Cushman & Wakefield, NFL DL Director. This is your 2024 board, so thank you. Mark your calendars. Our next meeting is January 25th at Cherokee Town Club. And before we end, I'd like to thank our sponsors again. The headline sponsor, Majestic Realty. Premier sponsors, Randall Paulson Architects and Trammell Crow Company. Gold sponsor, Kimley Horn. Silver, Dermody Properties. Bronze, Bowler and Patillo. So this concludes our meeting. Thank you for everyone for attending. I hope you have a great and happy holidays. And if the board of directors will meet over here, that'd be great. Thanks.